The Sad State of Motherhood in America.
Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book The Man Crisis comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today.
A single mother from Texas was arrested for allegedly abandoning her two young children for 2 months without access to food or medicine while she was living in Mobile, Alabama with another man. Now, according to reports, 31-year-old Raven Yates was arrested for allegedly abandoning her 12-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son from two different fathers and left them home alone while she allegedly went to travel to Mobile, Alabama to allegedly take care of her ailing father. However, when Raven Yates was found, she was found living in the apartment of another man. And as authorities went on to do their investigation, they found that Raven Yates had told her two children that they would be separated if other people were involved, and this threat was used to keep the 12-year-old daughter and the son in line, while Raven Yates decided to leave the home and go to Mobile, Alabama. Now, as Raven Yates was going to Alabama, she was living with another man, and as she was living with this other man, she was out here posting photos of herself on social media. And as she was posting photos of herself on social media, she was going out here living her life while her kids were sitting there going and talking to their biological father, asking the father of the 12-year-old, I believe, to go out here and place orders for them for fast food. And as he was placing orders for them for fast food, this is basically how the two children were being taken care of without any sort of adult supervision. And when I believe this father possibly found out, that is when he decided to get the authorities involved, and he also flew down to take custody of his children. Now, the police are seeing this whole incident of this child abandonment by Raven Yates as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged behavior of Raven Yates, it fits the pattern and profile for feminist indoctrinated women that I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis. And in The Woman Crisis, I talk about how feminist indoctrinated women, while they are physically mature as related to their bodies, they have a mental age of that of an adolescent, and that is what was shown here with the irresponsible and reckless behavior of 31-year-old Raven Yates, that she's still, while she's got an adult body, she's still thinking like an adolescent. And when it comes down to women with this state of arrested development, they do not go out here and think about caring for meeting their children's needs. No, they put their own needs first, because it's all about them fitting into a social hierarchy that many women walk away from when they go out here and get married. Unfortunately, Raven Yates is a single mother with two kids by two different fathers, and because of the feminist culture we have, Raven Yates possibly didn't want to submit to the authority of either of those men, and instead of looking to build a household with either of those men, she decided to go out here and make the state the substitute father, and decided to possibly go out here and have these children basically under the authority of the state. And as they were under the authority of the state, she was out here still living like a teenager, going out here acting incredibly immature, because only an immature 31-year-old is going to go out here and threaten the children by saying, oh, you don't want the family to be separated because if they find out, they will go out here and separate you from your brother because you are two kids from two different fathers. No, that's the type of irresponsible and reckless statement made by a woman who's in a state of arrested development, because a woman who is of character, she is going to contact one of those fathers to go out here and take temporary custody of that child, because that's what a responsible woman does if she's in this type of situation. But because the optimal situation would be for this woman to go out here and to be married to a man and have the family be able to be together like that under God's natural order. But this feminist indoctrinated woman, she would rather be the head of her household and be the head of a dysfunctional household being led by a woman with the mind of a child. And this woman with the mind of a child thought that it was a good idea to leave a 12-year-old in charge of a 3-year-old. And that's not a situation that is optimal for that 12-year-old, because that's basically emotionally abusing that 12-year-old, and it's leading to the emotional neglect of that 3-year-old who needs the supervision and guidance of a mother and a father. And the lessons learned here for that 12-year-old and that 3-year-old, they're both learning dysfunction from being in that type of environment where they have basically been abandoned by their mother. And this mother, she sits there and alleges, oh, I left to take care of a sick and ailing father. And that was complete BS, because I believe the reason why she basically abandoned those two children who came from two different fathers is because she basically wanted to go out here and live with this Pookie in Alabama, because she knew that if this Pookie wanted to be able to get with her, she started talking about having two kids by two different daddies. What would happen is that man would not look at her as a viable partner, because most men, when they hear a woman has already had two kids by two different dudes, what they want to do is go out here and leave, not have anything to do with that woman outside of smashing and dashing, which is what whoremonger males do. And that's what this woman looked to go out here and look to abandon her children. Now, this woman basically wanted to abandon her children because she knew that this Pookie didn't want anything to do with a woman with kids. So what she did was look to abandon those kids while she tried to shore up things with this Pookie and was looking to shack up with this Pookie. And as she was looking to shack up with the Pookie, what she was looking to do was possibly looking for one of these other relatives to go out here and take care of these children, while this feminist indoctrinated woman was out here looking to live her best life, because it looks like she didn't have much care for her children. If we look at her photos that were presented on social media, while her kids were struggling to try to find a way to get food and trying to find a way to survive in the world, she was out here dressing up for Halloween. And even when she was arrested, she had a big old Kool-Aid smile on her face, like she had absolutely no concern for those kids at all. No, it was all about her. And this is a pattern with many feminist indoctrinated women, because again, many feminist indoctrinated women, they have the mental maturity of a teenager. And with these women having the mental maturity of a teenager, they are not interested in being a helpmeet to a man. What they're looking to do is clout chase and climb up the social ladder. And that's what this 31-year-old woman was looking to do. She was looking to clout chase and get with this Pookie in Alabama. She was looking to go out here and continue to post pictures of herself on social media, and she could care less about her kids, who were basically asking their father to go out here and make fast food orders in another state, because the father lived in California, but he had to make fast food orders in Texas, as related to the lies that the mother had set up, telling them that possibly, oh, that the mother was working late, so they needed the father to go out here and make these orders all the way in California where he was working. And when this father found out, thank God this father, what he did was fly down and he went and took custody of his children. And as he took custody of his children, what happened was that the child's mother was again in Mobile, Alabama, hanging out with this Pookie, chilling out with this Pookie, living her best life. And that just shows you the selfishness of the culture of the modern day feminist indoctrinated woman. She's strong and independent. She don't need no man. And she don't care about no children. No, all she cares about is herself. All she cares about is, again, clout chasing and getting attention for herself. But the irony is that even as this woman was getting the attention of law enforcement, she basically showed how little regard she had for her own two children. Now, after getting caught by the police for abandoning her two children, what this woman does is, while she's sitting in the police car, she's sitting up there with a big old Kool-Aid smile on her face. And as she's sitting up there with a Kool-Aid smile on her face, what she's doing is going out here and just showing how little regard she has for her children. And people are sitting up here looking to make excuses for it. But there is no excuse for this, just again, reckless, irresponsible, and extremely egregious behavior. And it's just extremely egregious to go out here and do this to two children because you want to go out here and get with the Pookie, and you don't want Pookie to go out here and dump you because you're basically somebody who is out here just being just dysfunctional. And again, it's just troubling that this woman just is out here like this. And what's even troubling even more to me is that there are millions more women like this, and they're sitting up here telling the same lies like this woman did, talking about before she was arrested, talking about how her ex-husband was trying to kill her. And then she told the lie that she had hired a nanny. Well, if they had hired a nanny, again, a nanny would have been in the home with the children, and that nanny would have been able to answer the father's requests. And if you hired a nanny, the kids would not be ordering fast food. So there's evidence that basically contradicts many of the statements that this Yates woman has been making. And she sat there and talked about how the daughter had access to thousands of dollars to do and buy whatever. But what this woman doesn't understand is that a 12-year-old is at an age where they don't just need money. What they need is structure and guidance, because a 12-year-old who has been left home alone is somebody who is vulnerable to be targeted by predators. But this selfish, narcissistic woman was sitting there trying to make it all about her and making it all about trying to make excuses for her irresponsible, reckless, and egregious behavior, sitting there trying to tell us a lie. Oh, her ex-husband was trying to kill her, when the father was basically wanting her to take responsibility for taking care of these kids that she possibly went out here and demanded custody for and was possibly getting child support for. And then sitting there talking about she had so much money to hire a nanny for the children. Well, if you had hired a nanny, again, the nanny would be at the home at the time when these kids were there. And again, if she had access to thousands of dollars to hire this nanny and the child, and you said the daughter had access to thousands of dollars, again, why did you not go out here and supervise these children? And why did you not go out here and hire somebody to supervise them? Because why is the daughter going out here and calling the father to go out here and order food? Again, evidence pointing that's diametrically opposed to the points this woman has put in place. But what's the most troubling thing for me as related to this whole case of Raven Yates is that possibly this woman will possibly never get punished for the crimes that she did allegedly as related to abandoning these children due to our gynocentric criminal justice system, which goes out of its way to give passes to many of these feminist indoctrinated women and give them a pass to continue on participating in more irresponsible, reckless, and egregious behavior like this, because what's really the saddest part about all this is that this gynocentric criminal justice system will continue to give passes to someone like a Raven Yates, and they'll look to make excuses for her. But every action here she's accountable for, because I believe the reason she was going there was not to take care of a sick and ailing father in Alabama. No, I believe what she wanted to do was set up the typical hood rat chess game, where what they do is once they find themselves another Pookie, what they do is try to pass the kids who they had by the other two men off on another relative in that area. And then what they do is then go on to go live with the Pookie and then pretend like those two kids never existed. Again, cruel and reprehensible behavior, but this is the type of behavior many of these feminist indoctrinated hood rat women participate in, and they participate in this behavior because they don't see children as parts of a family. No, they see children as tools they can use to go out here and use for the child support they can get from those men. Then they use that money that they get from the child support not to take care of the children, but they use it to take care of themselves. And then they go out here and live a lavish lifestyle on the money from the child support and live with the Pookies. And then as they're living with the Pookies, what they look to do is possibly go out here and find themselves another dude to go get with, and then they'll possibly have baby daddy number 3. Now, it looks like, again, this woman possibly was doing this for an extended period of time, because when I look at the timeline, she had her first child at 19 years old, then she's got a 3-year-old right now, so that means she went from 19 to about 27 or so, and then had a second child by another man, and basically was looking to go out here and get rid of these two kids. And that's exactly what she did, because the children are not in the custody of the father due to the gynocentric criminal justice system. They are now in the custody of a grandmother, and this is not an optimal environment for either of these children, because they're going from one neglected household to a household with a grandmother who cannot assert authority on these children, and these children have no semblance of family. And what it looks like to me is another case of what Real Man Allen many years ago said about grandma's lies and generational curse, and these children sadly are becoming the victim of a generational curse created by feminist indoctrinated women, which has led to this mother turning her daughter on the road to becoming a woman in crisis just like her. And this is all due to the dysfunctional way we raise girls to become women here in America, because girls here in America do not learn how to become helpmeets as under God's natural order, the standard for women under God. No, what they learn how to do is become feminists, and these feminists, what they want to do is go out here and live their best life, and they stay in a state of mental arrested development. And this is why we've got a 31-year-old mother of 2 running around with tattoos, running around in putting pictures on social media, and going out here smiling in a photo where she's being put in a squad car, thinking that it's all entertainment, and not ever thinking about trying to become a model and example of womanhood for her 2 children. No, what this woman who has been indoctrinated into feminism is believing that everything is all about her, and all about her having a good time, all about her, again, living her best life, all about her being the hot girl. And as she's still trying to live like a teenager, going out here at 31 years old, with trying to live with a Pookie, she's looking to pawn off her kids. And again, you would think at 31 years old you'd be looking to do something more serious. I mean, I remember when I was 31 years old and I was trying to do more serious things. I was trying to go out here and get myself a full-time job. I was trying to go out here and get my life together. I was trying to go out here and get one of my books published. I mean, I was out here putting in work on more serious things, but it looks like these so-called independent career women, they're supposed to be more mature than men. That's what we're told. But we look at this woman, and she's still trying to live like she's in high school, not ready to take on the responsibilities of a woman. And that's what leads to her putting herself in a situation where her daughter is on the road to becoming a woman in crisis just like her. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to many of America's women winding up participating in dysfunctional behavior like this, and why they participate in dysfunctional behavior like this, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Woman Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's Aspiring Angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today.